Darrell, obviously a couple of games into the season now, what have you learned? Because you have a hard pre-season and you bring players in, and then it's really the competitive games where you start to see something.
Yes, it's assessing performance though, isn't it? The first game, frantic first game of the season. I thought up until the goal, without being spectacular, we were the better team on that day. Lose the goal here, bad individual error. And then the second game, I think the performance was a good one. Watching the game back, I think we're on the end of a couple of bad decisions, which can happen. We can't control that. But what we can control is how we react to those decisions. I thought we did that very well on Tuesday evening, and I had a good go to get back in the game. And that's my message to my players: you take care of the performance, and the results will come.
And your team will learn more about each other during those games as well. So how are they bedding in now early on?
Yeah, certainly. You learn, and sometimes what you can't coach in pre-season is adversity. Coaching for adversity of players that have come into the club, like Lucas probably had a sending off, looked really good in pre-season. That takes a knock. One or two players that are unfortunate not to get off the mark in front of goal because of a referee's decision. So what you're doing then is you're just making sure that those players that have that bit of adversity, so we say in the first couple of games, are full of confidence. And we did a lot of positive clips from the Sunderland game, and 9 times out of 10, being truthfully honest, if you play that game again, you win that game. So, and you're going to get games like that for the course of the season where things just don't quite go right for you in decision makings and not our decision making, should I say? And we have to accept that and move on to the next game.
Yeah, as I said, there must have been a lot of positives from that, but particularly the second half, I thought, against Sunderland.
It was, and we've got Tom Conlon, Anthony Rodney out of the team, two very effective top end of the pitch players that can create chances and can score chances. And then to still, I think it was like 15 attempts we've had against a League One team. Plenty of opportunities created was a good sign.
And whilst you mentioned those two players, are they available for you for tomorrow?
We'll see. Listen, happy to speak. Like I said to you before, I don't really want to frustrate my fans, but I don't want to do other managers' jobs for them. We'll see who's available tomorrow. I know who's available, obviously, and we're looking forward to trying to get our league campaign off the mark.
How important are those experienced players for you? And I'm going to highlight one in terms of like David Worrell, who's, if selected, not giving too much away, would be making his 500th career appearance. How important is that experience for you around a squad that's had multiple changes during the summer?
David Worrell leads by example. I think we've got a lot of players like that. That's why I'm very optimistic for the future. He leads by example in everything he does, every training session. Like you said, 500 games. You don't play 500 games in professional career if you're not a model professional. And showing the fitness levels that he shows, the meters, the targets, the high speed distance running that we monitor, that he's achieving, and that's testament to David Worrell. So it's a fantastic achievement, but he'll tell you himself he'll only enjoy that if we can be on the winning team tomorrow.
You get this far in the game by not just ability but attitude as well, and he shows that for you, doesn't he? Because you've asked him to play in different positions and he does it for you.
Yeah, and I think our fans appreciate that he's a firm fan's favourite because he doesn't leave anything out on the pitch. He gets himself in the zone, what I call it, every single game. I look at his focus, I look at his drive, not just in games and in training. And I spoke to him in the summer about just tweaking one or two things in his life, in his diet that might prolong his career even more so. And he's took them on board and he's come back really, really fit, which is pleasing.
Where do you see him fitting, or do you see him as more like that versatile, experienced player that you can rely on?
Good reserve player. No, we know if we can get David Worrell high up the pitch, he's going to create chances and create goals. I thought we did that a lot better the other night at times. And he certainly got plenty of ball and plenty of opportunities to deliver, and the more you do that, the more he'll deliver.
Games come around thick and fast, perhaps not as quickly as they did last season during the COVID pandemic. I know we're still in that, but Tranmere tomorrow, they've got off to the start that they wanted in the league. What do you have to do to try and control the game?
We have to focus on ourselves, to be honest with you. I think the early parts of the game, it's hard to judge of how teams are going to play, to be honest with you, how they're going to be. You're going off obviously a couple of games, but Mickey Mellon's You know, he's Tranmere through and through. He knows the club very well. He's a talented manager at these levels, and we know it's going to be a tough challenge. I think they'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season, but we have to focus on ourselves. We have to be on the front foot and to try and get our first 3 points of the season. They can be a catalyst to kick us on.
And the fans as well will be back for you for the first league game. How important are they?
They're going to be vital, and I keep going back to my initial report after every game. You know, the lads got clapped off the other night because of the effort and the endeavour. That's up for me and my players to make sure that every single game that's the case, and we appreciate the fan support. But if they can reset after every game, be our 12th man, get behind the boys, because we want to make this place a fortress if we can. And you only do that by winning football games, but you do that also by putting effort, desire, commitment into it for what the Port Vales expect as a bare minimum, and we need to do that. And I thought we had that in abundance the other night, and we need to do it again Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Darrell, obviously, as you already said, Tranmere obviously come in with that, but you'll have done your research on him, and you already alluded to how important Mickey Mellon, and he knows this division, he's a very experienced guy, but it's all about what you do. But you'll have done your research, you'll be aware of the ability of teams to change systems, as you did on Tuesday night, and that worked, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and Mickey did the same in midweek against Oldham. He went to a 3-4-3 system, so he's already spoke about the differences and the changes he can make in his squad, who is a successful manager at this level, and he's obviously got a squad there that can adapt as well. So I think it's important in this day and age, and certainly some managers work with this is what's going to be us, and this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to play like every week. The right or wrong is always in the results. So, but we expect a stern test.
Do you sometimes go like for like, you know, from the start of the game, and then as the game flows, you and your coach Andy, of course, weigh things up, or is it something that you just rely on your players to do what you want them to do from the off?
I've done everything, George, in the games I've managed, to be honest with you. I've been very aggressive from the offset and come unstuck. Then I've been very aggressive from the start and got rewards. The evidence is in the end of the game. I'm pretty black and white on it, George, to be honest with you. And I say this before: if you win, you're a good manager. If you lose, you're a rubbish manager, because you know, people are doing it different. And it's black and white for me, and that's the best thing that I've programmed my mindset to actually be, because that's how you're judged. End of. Majority of the time.
But it's nice you've got this versatility within the squad that can adapt, and we saw that on Tuesday night. The players are that adaptable, and that must be a big plus for you, Darrell, going into this season.
Listen, apart from the 2 results, obviously, I'm very optimistic, and I am a half full glass type of guy, because I think there's a lot of negativity in the world, and certainly in the football world it can be at times. But I'm very optimistic that the signs of this group has been very good. And the proof will be in the pudding. That'll be judged at the end of the season. But it's a long old season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's where you finish is where you're likely to finish. But I'm pretty confident this group of players, and I'm not talking about just a starting 11. I'm talking about the whole group, the whole squad. They've got a big part to play this season, and the way they've conducted themselves in these early parts of pre-season and the start of this season, I think the future will be bright.
James Gibbons, it was nice to see him on the bench. I know he's looking still for game time, and you're not the type of manager to rush him into it, but it's pleasing to see you've got the adaptability of a player like James, isn't it, back on the bench?
It is. I mean, Gibbo, he probably won't be on the bench tomorrow, to be honest with you. He's probably training at 90%. The hamstring's healed now, but we have to be careful with him. We're trying to arrange a game on the 24th of August now. We will arrange a game on the Tuesday with the likes of the lads that need minute time. You know, I touched on it last season. I didn't think, you know, with a squad of 30, certainly there weren't enough games arranged for lads, because they've got to get the match practice in, and we'll hopefully get a game in there Tuesday on the 24th for the likes of Gibbo, and we'll monitor him over the next week or two to make sure we're pushing his training to the limits, but making sure that he gets that little bit of luck while not breaking down.
Are you still touching to the loan market, Darrell, in terms of maybe adding to what you've already got?
I've said it all along. I've been pretty consistent with my message, George. There'll be 2 players joining us before the end of the window, minimum. So I don't want a too big a squad. I think 23 would be a good number. I think there's another couple of irons in the bag that I would like, but it has to be the right players, and we're working hard to make sure that is the right player. I'm not here to please people to make signings that just goes, oh brilliant, we've got another centre forward in, has to be right. Every one of the signings that we've made through the summer has been done with precise reasons for why we wanted those players, you know, so we're certainly not going to rush the last two pieces of the jigsaw too soon, too early, if we need to be a bit patient to get the right one.